Previously on Squad Sprint.
We're all set for a classic race here in the land of the rising sun. We're going 3 wide into the braking zone. Look at that, Senna. That's the kind of memories I'm getting there. They're going to go side by side down towards the spoon curve. It's Sally going to have the upper hand. Look how late Donny then brakes. And here comes Surprise, trying to pull alongside Anova. Is he going to make that move? As they go side by side, off the track goes Storm in a big way. Veloce James is going to take victory once again in the series. He wins here at Suzuka.
Hello and welcome back to Veloce Esports Squad Sprint. My name is Justin Sutton and we're in Italy for the 21st and penultimate round of the series at Monza, aka the Temple of Blah Blah Blah. This circuit has 2 DRS zones and a very high average speed, but the best corner of them all is the one named after the historic Grand Prix driver. Of course, I'm talking about Turn 1, which is named after Juan Fangio, obviously. Let's now remind ourselves of the championship order by taking a look at the starting grid for today's race. As far as Formula 1 circuits go, Monza is the one with the best pizza. That much is almost certain. If nothing else, this race should be over pretty quickly. Let's see the first of the victims for today's festivities. Starting from pole position, it's your boy Niren with a respectable gap of 284 points to the leader. He's joined by Isa. Row 2 features the silver medalist in the world of F1 YouTubers. I'm so sorry, Arab, alongside Eterno. Row 3 has Brembo and Dorniadin, both of whom look like they're not amused by the jokes I've been making. Row 4 is all Toms with Storm starting ahead of Martinez. Whichever one loses this season has to change their name. Row 5 is the last all-British row of the grid with Surprise starting ahead of Alonso. Row 6 has Photon in P11 with the impossible-to-pronounce first name, and James in P12. Bringing up the rear, it's the usual suspects with Sally in 13th and Danny, our championship leader, in the final grid spot. There's that safety car again. I don't know why that guy keeps showing up, to be honest, but here we are on the grid, preparing to go racing. We've got 2 lights on board with Arab. We've got 4 lights. We've got 5 lights. We've got 5 lights, and they're away, and it looks like a lot of wheel spin for both Niren and Isa. I can only imagine the nightmare that we're about to experience into the first corner of this race. You can see Arab getting swamped on both sides. Dorniadin up the inside with the dive bomb. Niren heading off into the runoff area all by himself, but Arab actually goes around the outside and moves ahead of everybody. He's going to take the lead of this race with Dorniadin behind him in that Ferrari. Veloce James is already 3rd. He's already... Oh no, something horrible has befallen Niren. I think that was a bit of contact at the rear. That's Formula Danny getting caught up. That was Sonic Saltunk as well getting caught up in that first lap incident. Arab taking an interesting line through the first of the Lesmos. Dorniadin closing that gap ever so slightly, but... Oh, and Dorniadin's team engineer there sounding very angry. I don't know if that's just the German language, but he sounded very upset about something. James is right behind Dorniadin. You can already see that proximity arrow, but it is Arab that leads, for right now anyway, as they make their way through the... Oh no. That's a big old slide, a big old 180 actually for Veloce Dorniadin. That's going to spin him right around, and oh god, we've gone on board with Niren. What is going to happen? Okay, he didn't hit Dorniadin. Anytime we go on board with Niren, I just fear the absolute worst. He's got Eterno Joe behind him. Somehow Niren is actually still in 8th position despite everything that happened to him on that opening lap. We can see Eterno is so confident in his driving abilities that he's actually using the driving line, so maybe that'll actually work out well for him. I mean, he could get some solid points here today. He is closing in on Niren, actually, with a great exit out of Parabolica as we lose Dorniadin after that incident with him at Ascari, but Niren defends the inside line into the braking zone for turn 1, and he's done the exact same thing 2 laps in a row, and Joe is going to take that position purely by staying on the track. That's all it takes to overtake Niren. I'm so sorry. The Toro Rosso, though, moves up in 8th, but Niren's actually not done. He picks up the slipstream. He's coming back at him into the second chicane, and he's completely missed his braking point again. It's not going great for Niren out there today, guys. It's not going great at all. In fact, he's got Sonic right behind him. And let's have a replay of that start as we go on board with Eterno Joe. He's up the inside, makes that little contact with Arab, but other than that, he's pretty cleanly through. He thinks he's going to take the racing line. Nope. You're not going to take the racing line. No, you're going to go spinning off into the grass and the gravel. The 2 Mercedes boys, meanwhile, going side by side. I saw a bit of contact between Tom and Sally. And yeah, this is what happened to Formula Danny. He just gets caught up. Sonic, what a good brother, keeping his brother's championship hopes alive, getting quite literally in the way of Formula Danny. Obviously not intentionally, as he was in the middle of doing some spinning there. But here we are, lap 2 coming into Ascari, and Arif is still leading this race. This is absolutely incredible. He does have James rather close behind him. Good God, that is ominous. James is just lurking right behind him, just saying, make a mistake, do something wrong. But Arif does not into the Parabolica anyway. He doesn't know quite what to do with his ERS deployment, but he's up into hot lap, dropping it back down into overtake as they make their way out of Parabolica, and he's still ahead of James, actually. This is a brilliant bit of driving we're actually seeing from Arif here today. Is he going to defend the inside line? He's moving left and right again, but he is going to defend the inside line. James, though, unbelievably late onto the brakes, still makes the corner. That's how you do late braking, Niren, in case you need lessons on late braking. You have to stay on the track while you do the late braking. Arif's coming back at him, actually, here. Didn't expect that. Arif with the fantastic exit out of that first chicane. Picks up that slipstream. No DRS, of course, but James with the inside line, and again, being later on the brakes and staying on the circuit means that James does take the lead of the race. He is definitely the man on the championship move. But we rejoin Formula Danny, who is not even in a championship points-paying position as it stands right now, but surely it's going to be rather easy for our championship leader to relegate Niren out of the points and down into 11th position, and it was indeed. It was easy. Formula Danny up into 10th. He's now got Joe just ahead of him, and Sonic has already managed to find his way past Eterno. Joe, here we go with the DRS on lap 3 on the rundown towards Ascari. Eterno is now going to be going side by side into Ascari with Formula Danny. That's got to be a bit terrifying. But Danny actually backing out of that, deciding to stay behind Joe, and that's going to lose him a lot of time. Sonic, you can see, pulling off into the distance. He was so much quicker through Ascari compared to the Toro Rosso. And Formula Danny is, I mean, he's almost helping it. It looks like maybe he just wants to give Joe a hand, because here comes Niren. That's not something I expected to say. Niren on Formula Danny, but no, he wasn't able to pull alongside, and now he's heading off the circuit a little bit. He's found the circuit once again, so Niren doing a little bit more exploring, but that wasn't as bad as his earlier attempts. But inside line now, DRS, of course, for Formula Danny as well, too. And surely he will get the job done on Eterno Joe here. Oh, good. Niren has completely missed his braking zone once again. Fantastic stuff, Niren. Doing great. You're doing great. Eterno Joe moves down into 10th position as Danny doubles his points tally if he was to finish like this. But he does have Sonic now ahead of him, which is one of the last people that I would want to have to overtake in this series. Let's have a replay of Arif, who was already overtaken by James, but here comes Sally Saltunk, who did not get caught up nearly as much in that opening lap incident, and he's just going to breeze right on by Arif, actually, before they even got into the braking zone, already taking that position. Here's a little bit later, a few corners later, Arif coming under attack from Veloce Surprise, who moves up the inside into the second chicane, manages to get that Williams all slowed down and take that position. So Arif now finds himself in 4th, with Photon just behind him. I mean, we are coming to the end of the penultimate lap here, though. Arif, dare I say it, I don't want to commentator curse him here, but Arif could be on for a top 5 finish here as he goes side by side with the other Mercedes of Photon, who easily moves ahead with that inside line into Ascari. On the rundown towards Parabolica they go. Formula Danny now with the DRS is going to be closing up to the back of Sonic Saltunk, but is he going to be close enough to make a move? It does not look like it. It looks like he's saving a bit of ERS here as well, too. And he's going to continue to save some ERS as he makes his way through Ascari. And then a bit more fuel mix and a bit more ERS to try and keep up to the back of Sonic. I have a feeling he's lining him up here for an overtake into turn 1. He's really thinking in advance here, is Formula Danny. He's trying to be predictive if he can. Try to figure out the best place to overtake Sonic. Through Parabolica they go as they come to the end of the penultimate lap. White flag this time by. Final lap in this Italian Grand Prix. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream. He doesn't have the inside line, though, as Sonic defends that vigorously. Danny, though, cuts him off. Oh, wow, that is very aggressive by Danny's standards. Really didn't see that. It's not paid out for him, though. Sonic just muscles him a little bit at the exit of the corner. I'd say that's pretty fair, to be totally honest, at least by this series' standards. We move back on board with the other Mercedes of Photon, who finds himself right behind Surprise, actually. This is a very close battle for second position, as James has just kind of taken off into the distance. DRS is open now for that Mercedes, as is it for the Williams. And he's going to get the inside line here. No, he didn't quite have the speed to get alongside the Alfa Romeo of Sally Saltunk. the current second place man in our championship. Surprise does run a little bit wide there. I don't think that's going to put him under any sort of threat from Photon, though, as they get down towards the Parabolica. He does feel the need to go defensive, though, into the Parabolica. He's also gone very, very deep. That's going to give Photon the opportunity to come back at him. Surprise is so wide, just drifting his way through the Parabolica, and as a result, he is going to lose that podium position, but a fantastic overtake and a great race for Photon. He should be very happy about that one. And here comes Danny for the final overtake in the race. He can't quite get him, but Sonic has that penalty. And here are the final standings. Make sure to tell us your driver of the day in the comments below. Was it James for another win? Maybe Photon for that last corner overtake? It is James, of course, who picks up that win ahead of the Flying Pin. Photon completing that podium. Surprise in the end, denied of that podium place, picks up 4th position. Tom97 with a bit of a quiet race towards the end there, comes home in 5th position ahead of Arab in 6th. Storm finishes ahead of Formula Danny, who loses lots of points in the championship, and Veloce Alonso and Joe Eterno Wilkes rounding out the top 10. This race has really shaken things up in the championship, with the 3rd place man finishing 1st, the 2nd place guy finishing 2nd, and the championship leader only managing 4 points. Formula Danny now sitting on 308 points, with just a 26-point gap down to the Flying Finn, and then just another 5 points down to Veloce James, who's now sitting on 277 as we head into the final race of the season. Photon still in 4th position. Not a lot of movement now as we get a little bit further down. Sonic in 5th position with 188. Veloce Surprise now in 6th with Tom97 in 7th. Ben, who's been absent, of course, in 8th position. Storm in 9th. Dorniaden in 10th position. Primero, who wasn't here today, in 11th position. The big move, though, today, other than the championship getting a lot closer between the top 3, was Arav, who was in 14th position as of last race, moves himself up into 12th and ahead of Brembo, and also ahead of Joe Eterno Wilkes as well, too. He's now sitting on 47 points to Brembo's 46 and Eterno's 42. Isa in 15th position with 33 points, and Niren with just still 20 points heading into the final race of the season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.